could you talk for us?
A 1-2 check of the microphone record. Check, check, check. Hello, hello. 1-2 check of the microphone record. Checkity check. If you can hear me, they have framed this shot so that you can't see the side of the monitor back there. You can kind of see my hand.
Voiceover should still be fine.
Okay. Looking at a graphic of live weather radar showing statewide live weather. Hey, it's meteorologist Cory Reppenhagen here with the 9 News Weather Impact Team to update you on your forecast for today and the rest of the week going into your holiday. We have just a little bit of a winter storm rolling through the high country today, mostly focused on the northern mountains. We've got the live weather radar up. You can't see too many reflections coming from that precipitation falling in the high country, which means that all the snow that is currently falling is below the radar, which is usually an indication of just some orographic flurries. So that's just when the moisture in the air hits the slope of the mountain, it rises and forms a brief little flurry right there below the radar. That's mostly what we're seeing as we go through the high country this morning and into the afternoon hours, but at about 1-2 o'clock they'll start to pick up, and you can see that here on the live camera shot from Loveland ski area. Just a few little flurries there. So this is a type of snow that it would have to snow for 20 hours to get just 1 inch of snow, just to kind of give you an idea of how light these flurries are out there. But you can see them on camera. And you can see plenty of people coming down these runs there at Loveland Ski Area. I think that's Tango Road on the right there that leads into the base area to get back on the lift. And here's the current temperatures around the Denver metro area. 45 degrees here at the 9 News Studios in South Downtown, Mile High City. It's down in Centennial, it's 46 and 44 out at the airport. So here's a look at the futurecast to see how this snowstorm, it's still a storm, would kind of unfold as we go through the day here. Coming up into about the 3 p.m. hour here on Monday afternoon, we'll start to pick up in a little bit in intensity, but mostly staying from I-70 to the north, although you see some showers stretching down into the Aspen area there and maybe even northern parts of Gunnison County. And then between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock, it really does start to pick up, especially in the flat tops and the Park Range, the Elk Mountains, and the Steamboat Springs area, and that'll relatively stay confined to that area of the northern mountains as we go through the night. And then as in the overnight hours, it starts to dissipate, and by about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, this one is all done. And here are the snow totals here are not looking too impressive. A dusting to 1 inch in most places. Steamboat Springs maybe picking up a little bit of snow accumulation. They'll have flurries throughout the day. This particular computer model does like the Fraser Valley, Winter Park and Fraser getting more than 2 inches of snow. That's the Winter Park's base area there, so if they get 2.6 inches at the base area, usually get at least 4 or maybe 5 inches up on the top of the mountain, so at least maybe a couple areas could get some decent snow out of this. This model was showing 1.2 inches on Loveland Pass, so you can see that light nature of that snow coming down is not going to have a huge impact on the totals, and likely not too much impact on the roads either until the sun goes down tonight. We could start to see the roads getting a little slow because of the snow appearing on the road and just slowing things down overall. But down here in the Denver metro area, we're not going to notice that situation up in the mountains too much, and we'll see a little bit of sunshine going through the day here, clouding up in the afternoon just before sunset. Temperatures still looking pretty warm compared to the average, maybe even getting up to 60 degrees here. Once again, if it does somehow make it to 60 today, it would be the fifth consecutive 60-degree day here in Denver. The record for today is 73, so we're not going to come close to that like we have the last 3 days, coming very close to an all-time high record for those days. Here's the forecast for the rest of the state. You can see a lot of 50s out there on the eastern side of the state. Some 40s still in the mountains despite a little shortwave trough rolling across the high country. Could even see some warmer temperatures down to the south there. And when you look at the jet stream, really kind of focusing on that Christmas storm, and today's solutions, or the modeling that has run overnight and this morning, has shown a little bit different of a situation here. I kind of like the position of this storm down there kind of in the Four Corners areas, but the strength, it's extremely weak, and it's just much weaker than the solutions that we saw yesterday. And the problem with a weak storm, not only does it have less impacts overall, snow totals and things like that, but it also, if it wanders a mere 10 miles off of its projected track, it has a dramatic impact on areas on the fringes, which on the fringe would be the Front Range with this storm. So with a bigger storm, if it wanders 10, 20 miles, it doesn't have that huge of an impact if you go from, say, expecting 3 inches down to 2. But if you go from expecting some rain snow mix to nothing, that's a pretty dramatic difference there. So let me take a look at this one Futurecast computer forecast model here, showing that storm coming into the western slope here by Wednesday morning. You can see probably places like Durango and Telluride maybe have the highest opportunity or the best opportunity to actually see active snow showers on Christmas morning, which would be a little bit of a jackpot. The rest of the state here in the morning hours, probably looking at isolated to scattered stuff there, maybe a few flurries. But even on the Front Range, we do see a little bit of some rain and rain-snow mix in some of the higher elevated areas along the lower Front Range. And you can kind of see the swirling nature of that low-pressure system down there in the Four Corners area. Like I said, usually a great spot for precipitation on the Front Range, because the counterclockwise circulation of that low-pressure system usually kicks the winds back around from the east to the west here on the Front Range, and we call that upslope. The air rides up the slope and rises and condensates, and we get a little precipitation. But the problem with a weak storm is if it has to be in the exact perfect spot to get snow showers going in the Denver metro area, even rain, and this solution is just not there. So you can see just 10 miles to the south what it does, and on this computer model you really don't see much of anything here in the Denver metro area through the day on Christmas. Now there are many solutions about what this storm will do once it reaches the Four Corners area, and since it is a weak storm, it'll have to be kind of last minute details to see where that thing is going to go. Maybe on Christmas Eve afternoon or Christmas Eve night, we'll be able to see where that's going to go. But for the right now, here's the snow forecast. You can see up until 4 p.m. on Christmas afternoon, this is the snow totals up to that point. They've come down quite dramatically, especially up to the north. The south, we were looking at 4 to 8 potential. Now we're looking more at the 1 to 4 potential. So the overall potential for the precipitation and the snow in this storm has diminished greatly. And then what's really in question is what happens after 4 p.m. on Christmas afternoon. So between 4 p.m. and midnight, where does this thing track? Does it keep going east, which would mean we get nothing here in Denver, or does it track slightly to the northeast, which would mean we get those that rain-snow mix here? So here's your forecast as it stands here for Christmas Day. 47 degrees is a high temperature, so a little bit cooler than we have seen, but that's still a few degrees warmer than average here. Our average high temperature is 43 degrees here in Denver. So we're calling a flurry, some rain, a mix, all that is in play, or all of it. And like I said, there is a chance that we get absolutely nothing out of this, like we just saw with that one most recent computer forecast model, just not showing that wraparound upslope moisture coming around the side of that low pressure system. So when you look at your 7-day forecast, that Christmas Eve or Christmas night is still very much in question. I think we could get some pretty warm temperatures tomorrow, though. I think we have a better shot at hitting 60 tomorrow than we do today, just because we'll have a little bit of a short wave ridge of high pressure just blast through the state, and if that times out for the afternoon hours, then I think we could make a run at 60 degrees tomorrow. So fairly warm and breezy here in the Colorado Front Range. Rain snow mix still very possible on Wednesday night, although like I said, very much in question. I think pretty low impact either way with this Wednesday night system here in the Front Range. And then Thursday, we clear things out rather quickly, get the sunshine to flow out there, but it'll be a cold start, likely in the upper 20s, so it'll take us a while. We might not get to 50 degrees on Thursday. And then on Friday, we'll have another storm system, another very weak storm system come across the mountains. We're looking at another potential for 1 to 4 inches. Now that one would actually time out, at least the way it looks right now, for the morning hours on the Front Range, and that would give us an opportunity to see some accumulating snow here in the Denver metro area if there's enough precipitation in that storm to do so. The temperatures look right, the timing looks right, we just need the right amount of moisture. So, and by the way, Christmas gift here for Nuggets fans. The Nuggets will be on national television on Wednesday, Christmas Day, so we all get to watch that. And then you'll get to watch the Nuggets again for free on Friday because they'll be on Channel 20. So 2 free Nuggets televised games coming your way for Christmas, and hopefully they can perform a little better than they did in New Orleans, but they did end up winning that game, so they could take a little bit of a winning streak into the Christmas season. But anyways, that's not my sector, so let me get back on track here and stay the course for weather. We're looking at a warm weekend once again. Next weekend looks like we could be making a run at 60 degrees. Sunday, likely 60 degrees. And then Monday would be probably our last warm day in this very warm stretch where almost every day in December has been above average, because New Year's Eve looks like we'll get a little bit of Canada coming down our way, and things do look promising to start 2025 out much colder than we did experience towards the end of 2024. The long-range modeling is showing the first 7 days of January here in Denver running temperatures below average in the with highs in the 30s and 40s. So if you like cold weather, there's at least something to look forward to as this warm stretch comes to an end pretty much right at the end of the year on New Year's Eve. So that's your forecast. Hope that helps you out. Still a lot of questions for the Front Range on Christmas night, but those details should start to unfold here as we go over the course of today and tomorrow morning. Thank you for tuning in and have a great holiday.